Ladies and gents, today we're going to talk about raids and everything we know about raids. There's so many things that are going to happen in the future. Not obviously, not this year, but I hope it's going to be the beginning of 2024. We're going to talk about raids, what they're going to look like. We'll talk about little things. I found, I managed to take screenshots from the screen and find some little things that we could have an idea of what's going to happen. Then we'll talk about rewards, and I'm going to show you little things that Blizzard, thought I wouldn't see, but we will, right? Let's get into that. So the raids will be available only for 2 people. The bad thing about it is that the 2 people that are going to do the raid must be guildmates. In other words, if I want to collaborate with some other YouTuber, I won't be able to do it without leaving my guild. I think it's a bad thing, and I'm going to put this in my complaining video when I make one, so they don't release it this way, because it's absolutely unacceptable in my opinion. So the raids will be available for a limited time during the season. And I assume when we have a lot of raids, they're going to be rotating like dungeons. Molten Core is going to have 3 wings. So you're going to start with the level 26 first wing, and level 27 second wing, and so on. 28 third and 29. So technically, right now, Ragnaros must be level 29, and Onyxia is level 30. So I think it's doable and acceptable. Well, I think so. Plus, by the time they will be released, more people are going to have higher level decks, right? So let's actually talk about the encounters first. So the mechanic, they said, is kind of the same as the dungeons. So once you defeat one boss, you're kind of locked to this map. They said you're locked to this map, which means, are you locked to this wing or you locked to the whole raid? Because after that, they start talking about how different heroes of your families would be good for different bosses. So I assume if you're locked to the whole raid and not to one wing, there will be no point to talk about different heroes useful against different bosses, right? So I assume you'll be able to switch your decks every wing. But the problem is that, actually we'll talk about it later. From the screenshots that we're going to see, we're going to have 1 core, and gold will be shared between everybody. So if I get a gold chest, you get the same amount of gold, which means one of the players should be using some gold talents. For example, bandits with gold talents, or Sneed, right? So we get more gold. So here is the wing number 1, Lucifron and Magmadar, I believe. So Lucifron, let's take a look at his map. So this is a Lucifron encounter. So what you see here are these 2 flame walkers. They have a very interesting mechanic, the developer said. So they always possess the closest mini, and as soon as this mini dies, they possess something else. So you can't, send chickens on them and then send something behind them, because they're going to possess the closest thing. As soon as the chicken dies, they're going to possess the closest guy, which they use Worgen as an example. So the way you kill them is you have to send something on them, like chickens maybe, and then you have to use something from far away that's something between your attacking minis and the flame walker, so there would be something between them. That's what I understand from this encounter. So what do we have? We have tons of gold mines, golden nodes. There's one more right there. And yeah, there is nothing more that we should talk about. As you can see, we only have 1 core for 2 players. The boss number 2 is Magmadar. The encounter for that was not shown. I mean, the map. And all we know is that it has to do with the core hounds. There will be a lot of core hounds, so we have to be prepared for this. And the boss itself looks like a core hound as well. So this is our wing number 2. And the first boss of the wing will be this duo, Gehennas and Shazra. Let's take a look at the map. So from we were told, this guy, the one that is closer to our core, counters our spells. They didn't explain in what way. Whether it reflects it, I don't know. So this guy can be killed actually before you kill the second guy. So we have to take into account, we have to kill this guy before we use spells, or we have to not use spells at all during this encounter. Yeah, for gold notes, gold notes, gold notes. There's one more here. I believe that is all we have. They didn't say anything about this guy. Now here's a Gar boss, the second boss of the second wing. They didn't show a proper picture of the map, but we have it here, I believe. Let's close up a little bit. That's all I can do. I can do more, but it's barely visible. Okay, here's the mechanic of the boss. As soon as he destroys a tower, not kill, but as soon as he destroys the tower, he sends enormous amount of elemental minis at you, and they said that there is 6 towers on the map. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have to be aware of that. That is the mechanic of the second boss of the second wing. Here is the third wing of Molten Core, Baron Geddon, and Golden Mark. This is a map for Baron Geddon. From that we can see that we're going to be in the middle of... Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of golden nodes here. We're surrounded by towers and the boss. So there is I think the boss might be traveling around, and the developer suggests to have a lot of flying minis. That's why, in my best guide in the world, I suggest to buy Rend and level up Rend as fast as possible, because Rend in some cases will be a must-have hero. Again, I don't know whether you have to play Rend from the beginning of the raid to the end, or it could be just for this wing. We don't know. If we can farm one wing with one hero, it will be wonderful. We're going to be getting rewards easily, right? So here is the encounter for Golemag. The dev said that there is going to be runes around towers, so I assume it's this thing here and this thing here. And we will have to do something about those. They create some kind of a mechanic that we have to take into account. But the thing is that every single thing in this encounter, every single structure has this surrounding whatever circles or these buttons. Everything has that. So that's all we know so far. Not much, right? I'm pretty sure this thing is gonna burn. This is the last boss of the third wing. So this is the map for the final encounter of the raid for Ragnaros. As you can see, there is no Ragnaros here because this encounter is similar to World of Warcraft one, where we have to summon Ragnaros first. So it will consist of 4 phases. Phase number 1, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to kill either this guy or this guy and summon Ragnaros. He's going to be in the middle instead of this fire elemental. So, phase number 2, when the Ragnaros is summoned, we will have to deal with his abilities. I believe he will have a fire, like flame wave, meteor, maybe something else. Phase 3, I believe he will disappear and he will summon lots of fire elementals. Pretty much fire ads that we will have to deal with. He's kind of like Onyxia in some cases, right? Because she spawns ads at some phase 2. And the 4th phase is going to be all the buff plus extra abilities. That, I believe, is what the developer said. You can kind of see the encounter. It looks pretty interesting. It's like, I don't know how big the map is, but it looks pretty close to our core. We'll see, we'll see. We have a chest here. Golden nodes, 1. There's 1, 2. There's 1 here as well. Gold, gold, gold. Tower, tower, 4 towers. Doesn't look scary so far. For me, Onyxia looks way worse. My favorite part is rewards. Here's what we get. For the second wing, which is level 20, for the first wing, sorry, which is level 26, we get this. Second wing is this. Third wing is this. And Ragnaros defeat will give us Ragnaros. So let's go one by one. What the hell is this? If you combine it, from what I understand, if you combine it with any mini, it upgrades the mini to the maximum level. for those who don't know, the mini that you have is probably upgraded. Upgrade adds levels. Talents that you buy add levels. If you remove everything and your mini is going to be gray, the level of that mini is going to be your real level. I'm going to simplify everything. Any mini that you combine with this will instantly will have a maximum experience upgrade. You will never need any experience for this mini anymore. Here is a plus about it. If you put the mini after you combine with this slot, if you put it in some deck that you're leveling, for example, doing PvP, which gives you the maximum amount of experience, as we know, right? If you add the mini of the maximum level, when you defeat your enemy and one of your minis will get experience, the pool of the minis will be reduced by 1, right? Because you had 6 minis and a hero, one of them is maximum level now, so you will have 5 minis and a hero. And if you have 2 maximum level minis, you can add them too, and then the more maximum level minis you have in your deck, the less the pool of the minis that need experience is going to be. So technically, if you have 6 minis out of 7 of maximum level, every time you defeat, you win a PvP match, only 1 mini will always be upgraded all the time. So at some point, you will, once we level up few minis to the maximum level, we will be able to level up even faster by doing this thing. I hope you understand what I said. If you didn't, ask me in the commentaries. I'll explain even more. I'll explain more in depth. Here is the second reward for clearing the second wing of the raid. We're gonna get the legendary tome and the legendary core. For those who don't know, you upgrade your mini, right? When you upgrade for the first time, the color changes to green, then the blue, then the purple. After you get purple, you can upgrade your mini to the legendary quality. You need 25 stars. Yes, so when you become purple, you get 25 more stars, and you combine it with this orange can, which is really hard to get, and that adds you 4 more levels. So going from epic quality to the legendary gives you 4 extra levels. Just so you know. Here is the most interesting part about rewards. Platinum slot. Which means when you clear a third wing of the raid, you get a platinum slot. What does that mean? I mean, according to the system that we have today, that means that, first of all, you're no longer an alpha male if all of your slots are golden. Now they all have to be platinum, right? Number 2, if you upgrade 1 slot out of 7, you would have to do this raid or any other raid 7 times before your whole deck will be fully upgraded. And here's a question. If you do this raid once with, let's say, X hero, will you be able to do it again? Or are you going to be locked for this raid? Like this hero is going to be locked for this raid until the new raid comes out, or until the rotation changes this raid to the other one. So we don't know. I kind of don't understand how it's going to work. I suppose because the greediest way, knowing who Blizzard are, right? They're going to do it so that you complete it with the hero once. Let's say we complete it with Rend. Rend gets 1 slot for a Rend's deck, and then he gets locked. And you can no longer complete this raid with Rend anymore until the new raid shows up. You have to do it with some other hero, which I'm pretty sure nobody is going to have, because we're not going to have so many high-level decks. You will have 1, maximum 2, right? So this is how I think things are going to go. And the last thing is Ragnaros. You get Ragnaros for obviously killing Ragnaros, but the thing is that if, let's say, 3 weeks later, you get Molten Core again and you defeat Ragnaros again, they said that you're going to get extra experience and additional stars for Ragnaros. I hope it's not going to be 1 star, because in this case, I will not even bother trying, busting my ass to kill Ragnaros, right? The hardest encounter in PvE in the game. That is pretty much all I wanted to cover. I'm super excited. So many cool new things are coming out. But we better have our decks of high level ready. That's all.